We are recording.
Right on.
Here we go. Here it is. Okay, we don't know what we're doing. My name's Matt Ryan, and I am here with my good friend.
I'm Bob Geis. I'm here with my good friend Matt Ryan.
All right, we're grown men doing this. Okay,
that's right.
We are keepers of arcane secrets. We run Call of Cthulhu games at for our friends and at conventions. That's what we do. We do other things as well. And Bob Geis has come up with a devious plan for 2025, which just so happens to be the 50th anniversary of Chaosium.
That's right. So I came up with this plan, which is to run the fantastic campaign Mask of Nyarlathotep at the same time.
How do you say it?
I say it, Mask of Nyarlathotep. You probably say it differently. And who knows? Who knows?
Bob, I suspect the people that are watching this know us. But let's imagine that someone accidentally stumbled on this link. And before they call the authorities, let's tell them who we are.
Fantastic. Absolutely. I'll go first.
Please do.
I'm Bob Geis. I've been playing Call of Cthulhu since 1989. When I discovered it at Gen Con 1989, I walked up to the Chaosium booth. It was the coolest booth there on the floor. The guys were decked out in lab coats. They had blood splattered on them. It was amazing. I didn't even know how to say Cthulhu then. They had to tell me. But I was hooked from that day forward. I played it in college. And then in the early 2000s, I began doing this thing called U2 and Cthulhu. U2 and Cthulhu is a group of people that go to conventions here in the Midwest where I'm located, Gen Con, Gamehole Con, Gary Con, and Chaosium Con. We run Call of Cthulhu games for players. Our games are designed to teach players the rules, but they're suitable for experienced players as well. And so I've had the pleasure of getting to know Matt Ryan, and I'm going to turn it over to him for his introduction.
And before you do that, how popular are your U2 and Cthulhu games?
They seem to do pretty well. We sell out in moments.
They're wildly popular. Bob sells himself short. They are wildly popular. The tickets for them are always in the highest price category of tickets for con goers, and they sell out in seconds, don't they?
We have good luck. We have good luck.
And you have run some of these games for television and movie stars, haven't you?
We have indeed. We have some names. We have some named men who have been at our games. Yes.
Bob is a big deal. I am not a big deal, although I am taller than Bob.
He is considerably taller, and he's also a much bigger deal than I am. Don't let him sell himself short.
I am just a weirdo gamer from way back in the day. I've been playing games for a long time. I have not been playing Call of Cthulhu as long as Bob has. This is a sad admission. I started with a Time to Harvest, which is late in the game. Chaosium did play with your buddies for free, organized play of Time to Harvest, and I'd owned Chaosium books, but I'd never played them. So I ran Time to Harvest. Anyways, long story short, I am the staff cartographer. I draw other graphic elements for the game. I run a lot of Call of Cthulhu games at conventions. And a year ago, I started to run, here, I'll pull this out. I started to run the Horror on the Orient Express. Here it is. It's mammoth. And this is just it's not the current edition. Anyways, I started to run this for some friends here in where I live in central New York. And of course I promoted it. And Bob said, here's phase 2. Bob has a plan. Bob, what's the plan?
Okay, the plan is for us each to run Masks of Nyarlathotep for our crews, right? And what we'll do is we'll run these.
What is Masks of Nyarlathotep?
It is a global spanning campaign. It is one of the earliest Call of Cthulhu campaigns that was written, and it has been. This is the box set the second edition, the third edition. This is, I believe, the fourth edition. I could be wrong. I probably am wrong. But the bottom line is, this is the latest edition. This is the seventh edition version that we're getting ready to embark on, right?
Yes.
So again, it's a fantastic campaign. I personally think it has the best opening scene in a Call of Cthulhu campaign, right?
It's a gripper. It's a gripper.
It gets you, it hooks you immediately, and you know it sinks the claws in, and you're off, and the players are off.
Bob, how many times have you run Masks of Nyarlathotep?
Okay, so I ran it. So I remember I was thinking about this, Matt. I was thinking about this. I was on vacation. I would say this was probably 1990. I was all hip and cool back in those days.
Oh, I remember them well.
Yeah, and so I was out there in North Carolina, and we went to the mall, and of course I got a Call of Cthulhu book to read on the beach because that's how I roll, right?
Yeah.
And so I remember reading this thing, and so it would have been 1990 probably is the first time I ran this thing, and I did a terrible job because I didn't know what I was doing. But then I ran it in college, and then I ran it subsequently for a group of friends, and then I ran it for another group of friends. So this is going to be my fourth running of Mask of Nyarlathotep. And I couldn't be more excited.
That's very exciting. I've never run it. And
you got to start somewhere.
At this point, I haven't even quite read it yet. My only familiarity with the campaign is this excellent radio play that our friends at the HPL Historic Society produced.
That's right. Those guys are amazing. The HP Lovecraft Historical Society, they do some of the most amazing stuff, and they have been longtime friends of YouTube and Cthulhu.
And of Chaosium, of course. And,
oh my gosh.
And
oh my
speaking of them, what else are we going to be using
while
we play this game?
Here we go. This is in stereo right here.
That's right. We each have one of these deluxe prop sets.
Yes.
And by the way, these were not comped. We
right.
bought these.
Cash on the barrel.
Pause for emphasis. All right, maybe that'll okay. Anyway, we're good friends with these guys. These props are fantastic. The campaign is fantastic.
Props worth every penny. Campaign worth every penny.
Every penny. Okay, so here's our plan. We are not going to record our play sessions with our groups. Those are going to stay private and personal. And but what we are going to do, this is Bob's plan. We are going to talk about what we're going to do before the session.
Yep.
And then we're going to talk about what happened in the session before. And we're going to keep these simple, lo-fi recordings free. And we're going to figure out like a YouTube thing or something.
That's right.
There's going to be no frills. There's no editing. These are one-take wonders.
It is. We are indeed shooting these live.
Okay. So I didn't even check the time when we started. We probably only have a couple more minutes, Bob.
Yep. So yeah, let's real quick. Let's touch on who we're going to bring. Who are we bringing? The players. We don't have no names. Just give me like vague ideas. Amorphous blob of your players population.
Okay. My Hoto game ended up, I said yes to everybody that wanted to play. So I ended up with 9 players. I'm lucky. I live in the same town that I grew up in, and I like living in this town, and I know lots and lots of players. So there's lots and lots of people that I get to play with. So it kind of gets sticky sometimes who is in the game and who's not in the game. And I'm playing a game with some other friends who I didn't invite. That was my timer telling me that it's a work thing. Don't worry about it. Who do I have? I have 2 neighbors and my wife. I always play with my wife, and my neighbors are my neighbors. So they're always invited, right? And then I've got, let's see, a new person that I don't know very well that works at the local library, but he's friends of a person that I do know very well. And she's also library connected. Who else have I got? I've got a guy that's coming. He's driving 2 hours each way to play in the game. He's I don't know, maybe we'll have some of these people on as guests down.
You never know, right?
You just never know. And I'm sure there's people that I'm forgetting, but the people that I'm playing with in real life are authors, artists, musicians. I don't have any criminals this time, but I have had criminals in the past. What about your group, Bob?
So my group it's an interesting eclectic mix, right? So I'm playing with one of the guys. Again, I told you I ran this in college. One of the guys who I'm running this for is part of my college crew. So I mean, I've been gaming with him that long. He just happened to cycle in after I'd already run this game for the other dudes, right? So he's going
Wonderful.
to be in the group. I have, and a couple of others who are in my regular group, who I game with all the time. And then last summer,
The kid.
the kid joined the game, right?
I know about the kid.
So I'm an old dude. It doesn't surprise anybody that sees me. But last summer, or this past summer, there was my daughter's roommate's brother joined our group, and so he's this young lad, and this is his exposure to Call of Cthulhu, and so he's going to get to be part of this deal. So I have a mix. I don't have quite the number. I'm going to reach out to some other folks, but again, they have travel situations, so that's another thing. So yeah, I have to decide if because I may keep it just to 4 or 5 players, keep it very a small, tight group.
Sure. I like a lot of players because then if there's a certain number, if we can meet, we play. So with
There you
8
go.
players, if I can get 5 at the table, we roll
Hmm.
just to keep the momentum going. And
That's for sure.
okay,
Group
so
dynamics 101.
you gotta keep this thing moving. I mean, how lucky to be able to play at your table, Bob. Um,
Likewise, yours.
well. So what kind of prep have you done for this? You've read it at least, right?
So
you've run the campaign.
yeah. My biggest prep that I'm doing is working my way through the new edition, right?
Yeah,
Because again, this is I ran this. It's probably been 10 years since I've run
yeah,
masks, but
yeah.
now I'm going through the new version, right? And so I am cranking away through the chapters, and I am currently reading Australia.
That's
Aus-
advanced. Now we're going to keep this one we're going to keep this one spoiler free, but I should say that as we get into this there will be spoilers. Bob and I are going to talk details.
Spoilers.
We're going to get into the shit about this, and we're
Yep.
going to talk about exactly what we're going to do and exactly what worked and what didn't.
Yep.
Uh
All the disasters and terrible things our players did, and
and
all the
and
terrible things we did to them.
yes, and of course it's our fault. But I have to say that the mountains of effort went into this, and it's and it's guys that I work with, so take that with a grain of salt. But there's a lot. They did a really nice job with this. Oh, and it was produced before I was on board, so there I can say whatever I want.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. There you go. All right. I normally do for a game. I normally do artwork and I make my own props and whatnot, but I'm not going to for this one because we've got the HPLS
That's
uh,
right.
Historical Society stuff. You're going to make a PowerPoint for your players.
I typically do. What I typically do is I put together a presentation that has all the NPCs and I say, hey, this is who you're talking to. This is who you're talking to. But I mean, I don't have to do that if you're not going to do that, right?
But you should do what you do, and then we talk about the different approaches. I think that
For
would be
sure.
the most bang for the buck. And remember, the viewer is paying nothing.
That's right.
So
That's
the
right.
most bang for the buck, you should do the 100% Geis, and I'm going to go balls to the wall, Ryan, and we'll see.
Absolutely. I'm going to do it.
I love it. All right, so folks, I hope this is I hope this is interesting. And we should name some of the designers that we talked to at GameholeCon who told us this would be a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah.
If this doesn't work, we have
That's
your
right.
emails.
We can out them later
Yeah, we can out
when
we
it
can out
crashes
them
and
later.
burns.
Bob, my first session is the 24th. Have you nailed down your first session?
I have not. I have not. I'm talking to some of the guys this weekend. So, but I still want to round out my attendee list, right? So again, but I should be able to do something by the end of the month. Let's coordinate on the schedule. So what I think we should do is we should run these things and we should record these things in rapid succession because I don't want a lot of time passing because I'll forget.
I'm old as well, so it's not going to stick in the cross. So we'll record one like on the verge of the game.
Yep.
The day before.
Yep.
And that means it's a Thursday.
Okay.
Look, folks, you're getting the planning stages.
Yep. That's right.
And
We're a
then,
well-oiled machine here.
we're gonna play. I'm playing every other Friday.
All right,
I mean, unless I'm at a show or something, or
for sure.
that is the plan. Okay, that's the plan. Okay, folks. So, we'll be all of this stuff will happen on Facebook, right? I just put all of my stuff, pictures and
Yeah.
whatnot on Facebook. I'm too old to understand any other social platforms.
I mean, you and me both, right? So
So
yeah, our viewers are going to get what they're going to get.
remember they paid nothing.
Nothing.
All right.
That's right.
So if we can figure out the YouTube thing, there'll be comments and shit, and
It'll be great.
you're
People
a good
love
man,
us.
Bob Geis.
Back at you.
There, that's done.
Okay, we're done. Done recording. Recording.